What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You know what you're looking at right there, right? That's the Weber 37, the ranch. Biggest Weber kettle that Weber makes. And I've had it for a couple months now. Cooked a steak or two on it, rack of ribs, but now I'm doing an official, proper break-in of this new Weber Kettle ranch. And what are we gonna do? Ooh, looky there. 15-pound full packer brisket. Full packer meaning it's got both the point and the flat. Seasoned up with some championship rub from Malcolm Reed and Know How to Barbecue Right. I think that's his channel name. Right in here, the ribs, 2 racks of spare. Look at that. Got some heat on this one and some sweet on that one. Gonna be good, guys. And going back to the brisket here, that's Texas rub there, salt, pepper, garlic, onion, some other spices in there that Malcolm Reed won't tell us, but it's won a lot of championships and it's gonna be killer. Lift off this lid, man. Hit that all the heat of the grill. So when you do it, try to do it quick. All right. That's pretty good. Slide you back a little bit. Gonna have the point going towards the hot. Just because it takes a little longer to cook and break it down. Just get. Oh no, man down. I lost my rib tips for my doggy. She probably still need it though. Let's get the meat church. Little cow ribs on there. And there we go. Look at that, guys. Check that out. Oh my, look at that. Heavily coated. It's gonna create a marvelous bark. And we're gonna get some, wow, it's gonna be a feast tonight. Here, I have the Slow and Sear 26 that I use in here. I have some B&B oak briquette, briquette. And I also have some whiskey barrel oak chunk in there just to reinforce the oak briquettes. So here we go, guys. I'm gonna close this lid up and we shall be back. What a beautiful sight though, huh? Hell yeah. Alright guys, we are at the 3-hour mark, so it's time to take a first look, number 1, and number 2, check the temps on the ribs, because it's getting time to do that. Oh wow, look at that. It smells like brisket in the air. Oh my, let's get in for a better look. That looks good. Don't want to spend too long doing this though, because big grill like this, man, takes a little bit of time to heat back up. So that said, let me get to checking the temps. All right, got my chef's temp. Generally don't put a probe into the meat while they're cooking, just because if you get too close to the bone, it can throw you off. 176. I think I had 179 on the other one. 175. Coming right along. Probably another hour or two on the ribs. 5-hour mark on the dot. I know these ribs must be done, so I'm gonna take a probe that's gonna hopefully show up about 203, low 200s. Hard for me to get in there. Let me come around. Try to make this quick as possible on the brisket so I don't let all the heat out. 193, 195. Oh boy. 198. These ones feel a little bit more tender than the other one. 207. Yep. These are done. Time to take the sweet ones off. 199. 203, 204. I'm gonna go ahead and 208. I'm gonna go ahead and call them. All right. Church, holy cow. Right there. All right, guys, check these out. Look at that, meat church, holy cow. That coarse rub that I put on there. Smell that one. That one's gonna be, I'm gonna have to have a cold drink after I take a bite of that. And the sweet ones. Bama Q. I'm gonna wrap these up individually in butcher paper. I prefer not to use tin foil unless I have to, because that will kind of create some steam and mushify your bark. So I'm just gonna glove up so I make sure I'm sanitary. Meat church right there. Ooh, that's nice. Same deal. And what the butcher paper does porous, so it allows it to breathe a little bit. Lets your bark continue to develop if it's not already set. And it lets the air out and does not create steam. And it cools down nice. It is time. A little keep the bugs away net there. All right, let's see how these feel. Those are still gonna be hot. This one feels less hot, so let's start. And it's closest to me. Look at that. Look at all that. Nice. Look at that. Nice coloring. Look at there. All right. Okay. Sweet. Look at that. Let's go right in the middle. Start with the spicier one. Let me cut up one of these guys too. Oh man, this one has a much darker bark than the other one, the meat church. Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, let's see. How's that looking? Not too shabby. Nice bark there. Nice and juicy. Can you see the smoke ring a little bit at the top there? Look at that. Nice nice turnout. All right, here we go. Ooh-wee. Yep. Oh my, I gotta have a second bite. Feel the heat coming in. Third bite. Fourth bite. Oh man. My famous line, oh man. That is good. It's so juicy. It is good. Take a look at this guy. Look at that coloring. Tell me that doesn't look good. See the moisture in there? The glistening. Let's look at my gloves. All right, let's do this. Ooh. That is good. Enough of that. I'm gonna cut these up, slice them up, eat some more, put some away. And at the end of this video, guys, I'm gonna talk about the cook, why I did things a certain way, why I didn't do things. So stay tuned at the end. All right, later. Check that out. Look at that, damn. That's just, yeah, speaks for itself. I'm gonna shut up. You're welcome. All right, guys. We are in the stall at 167. Been there for a solid half hour now, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it butcher paper style. Check that out. Bark is developing nicely. Very, very nicely, and that's what's good about the butcher paper. It'll continue to develop in there. If I foiled it, it would stop. Probably end up getting mushy if I didn't do a very good job getting it tight, getting all the air out. But all right, let's get this sucker in some paper. All right, let's take this out for now. There we go. All right. All right, guys, hit my target temp, 203. So I'm gonna take this out, wrap it in a towel, and put that in an insulated bag. Alrighty, the moment has come. This little piece of meat here has been resting for 2 hours, 45 minutes. Here we go. Ooh, nice. Nice. Can you guys see that? Check that out. Just from the butcher paper. All right, gonna set this aside so when I actually cut my slices and put them in containers, gonna pour that on top of it to help keep it moist. Check it out. Check it out. Moisture, boys. Look at that. It's a nice smoke ring. There we go. Let's do a little separation here. Got the point right off. Flat. Got the nice smoke ring. Check out that smoke ring, guys. Right on. That's from the oak. Heck yeah. This is gonna be good. Look at that. Look at that. This is nice. All right, let's check this out. There we go. Look at that. Sound like a broken record. This is done perfect, I think. Let's cut some slices going. Let's get some slices going. And we'll see how we did. And there we go. Check that out. A little bit, some of the smaller slices from the flat. Let's see. Definitely passes the bend test. Check out my gloves. Let's see me get back in the camera. Hopefully we're there. Okay. Let's do the pull test. There we go. Taste test. Look at that. Nice. A little bit of a tug there. All right, guys, check that out, man. Check that out. Just sliced it all up. Check out that bark. Look at this. Look at that. Man. Heck yeah. That's what 14.5 pounds looks like after. Yeah. Totally stoked on that. Weber did a great job. Not a bad turnout for using the ranch kettle there as a smoker like this. 11.5 hours for the first time. This will be the first of many, all sorts of kinds of cooks on this Weber kettle. All these guys. I got 4 kettles here. I'm gonna do a throwdown between the 37, the 26, the 22, and the 14 that I have down over there. All right, guys, stay tuned for that. Gabagoo Barbecue. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you guys. You have a good one. Be safe out there. Laters. All right, guys, what's up? Cheers. Little non-alcoholic beer for me, FYI. Anywho, Weber 37 Ranch, brisket and spare ribs. I generally cook hot and fast when it comes to smoking briskets and ribs. And when I say hot and fast, 275 to 300-ish. Trying to do this a little lower. I'm at 270, 264. That's the range I've been fluctuating all day today. We're in 6.5 hours right now of the brisket cook. Anyways, I'm going to talk spare ribs real quick. This will be just a 2-minute talk, tops. Anyways, spare ribs. When it comes to thermometers, generally don't put in a wireless probe into the ribs. Why? Because oftentimes you can get it too close to the bone and it's going to spike your readings. You won't be accurate, so you throw that out. You'll mess up your ribs half the time if you do that. I just like to probe them towards the end. Once you start seeing the pullback from the bones, that's when you know they're hitting 180, 185 and up at that point, and it's time to start checking. So that's what I do with ribs, beef or spare, or baby back for that matter, beef or pork. Brisket. So this one, doing it around, like I said, 270, 264, and it's 14.5 pounds. I imagine this one will take, it'll probably be a 16-hour cook, so it's going to be a very late night tonight. The dome on the Weber 37, I'm sorry, the vent, I keep that all the way open all the time. One thing that's not good about this setup is just the vents are at the very top. I wish they were off to the side, so you could smoke indirectly and all that stuff, but that's not what the ranch was intended for, so it is what it is. Works with the other Weber kettles I have, the 22 and the 26 and the 14. Still get it off, it's just a dome, get a lot of smoke in there, so not a big deal. Just be a little more convenient, it was off to the side. That's my take, and I don't usually use drip pans on that. I'm going to get a lot of grease. I already see some in the big giant ash bowl under there. I'll just burn it off next time with charcoal. Whatever. It's going to get real hot beforehand. It'll be all nice and burned off. That's typically what I do. Never really use the trays for catching grease. But when I cook at 275, going back to that, kind of hybrid-y of low and slow and hot and fast. I always get great turnouts, especially with briskets. I've done 4-hour briskets, 5-hour briskets, 6, and they're pretty damn good. Could have done another hour or so, but for a very quick turnaround on brisket, can't beat it. It's enough time to render a lot of the fat down. I don't like to eat, big chunks of lard, so I do the best I can to get that fat rendered down. And hitting it at that range, 275, that's my ideal mark. 300, you get a great turnout. Develops great bark. Not the best, but your flavor is there. You're gonna taste the beef or the brisket, the profiles of the seasoning or the rubs that you put on, depending on how many coats of whatever it is you do. A lot of times I like to put 2-3 different types of rubs on, build out your flavor profiles. Sweet and heat, I've heard that phrase before. Sweet rub with a heat rub. And anyways, don't want to ramble on here. 2 minutes, my ass on the video clip here. But anyways, that's all I got to say, I guess. My dampers on the Weber Kettle Ranch. Like I said, I keep the top one open. It's got 3 big rings on it. And it has 3 dampers on the bottom. They're the same size as the Weber 22 dampers. So you guys are familiar with that. Picture that in your head. I keep 2 of them closed 100% of the time when I'm doing a smoke. I've only done a couple so far, but it's working. 2 of the dampers all the way closed. The 3rd damper, to keep it in the 264 to 270 range. You saw the slow and sear basket I had in the beginning, the amount of charcoal I had in there. I've added more briquettes throughout the 6.5 hours, added more post oak. I ran out of the, what's it called, the whiskey barrel oak, so I added some post oak chunk. And it smells great. And those ribs definitely smelled or tasted the oak flavor profile with the heat rubs and with the sweet rubs. It all came out great, so smoke is just one of your flavor profiles. And oak, I think that's one of my favorite smokes. It is great on everything. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, the 3rd damper, I just kept that about between 1 and 2 millimeters open. That was it, literally 1 millimeter. If I moved it a 0.5 millimeter, I would get a 2-degree spike. So that's where I had it. All bottom dampers, about 98% closed. 2 out of 3, 100% closed. The 3rd one, on the charcoal side so it could dry all the air in underneath the coals. I had it just between 1 and 2 millimeters as I was dialing it in back and forth. And this Weber 37, it's easy to hold and maintain temps. It just had a 6-degree variation all day. Yeah, that's pretty solid. You know, this is a new grill to me. There's a learning curve to it compared to the 22. You know, how much charcoal it takes. Not a heck of a lot, to be honest. I'm kind of surprised by that, to get it to temps. Pretty convenient. The only downside is to it, when you take that big gigantic lid off, you know, all your heat goes. You know, I guess it's the same with any other Weber kettle when you take the entire lid off. But when you're cooking multiple pieces of meat, you know, it's an ordeal taking that lid off, as you've seen, you know, and putting it back on. Weber did a great job making it easy, because you can just kind of slide it back onto the back bar with the rollers. But yeah, so far it's great. Got it all cleaned up today. Waxed it down with some car wax. It's what I do to keep my grills clean. Some of the wet or dry spray on wax. Just spray it on, wipe it off. Works amazing. Repels dust too. Keeps it cleaner looking. Anyways, guys, that's my chat I guess I have so far for this cook. Cool. We'll be back later. All right, guys. I'll be back when it's time to check the brisket.